Welcome to Ask Gwen, everyone. Today with me I have Jimmy, and I'm going to let Jimmy take it away and explain more about what he does.
First off, thanks for having me. And what I do, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm still in college, and I run my own website called crazyfitnessguy.com, which is geared towards people on and off the autism spectrum. And I also run my own podcast called Crazy Fitness Guy Healthy Living Podcast.
So, are you on the autism spectrum, Jimmy?
Slightly. I'm I wouldn't say I'm like fully on it. I'm like partially on it. I'm kind of like I like to basically call it like the bridge between autism and non-autism. So I'm kind of like, just like, I don't know, I'm like the bridge connector to both.
Got it. Okay. So you're not fully Asperger's, non-functioning autism, but you are autistic.
Yeah.
Ah, I've never heard of someone being slightly on the autism spectrum. It's usually I heard as fully on the autism spectrum.
You and me both. And I kind of feel like no, I don't think I've ever met someone kind of like me. I kind of feel like that's what makes me unique.
Oh, yeah, yeah, because I myself have moderate cerebral palsy, but I am in my brain. I'm fully functioning as a functioning able-bodied disabled woman. So I am a very unique case, but as I said, I have never heard of someone slightly on the autism spectrum. Now, I've heard of different severities of autism, of course, but I've never heard of someone being on the autism spectrum slightly.
True.
And so, to me, if your best friend had to write a book about you, what would the title be?
Oh, that's a hard question. I would probably have to say, uh, mm, I don't know. But this is I wasn't geared up for this question. Let's see. If I had to come up with a title, I would have to say maybe the ups and downs of Jimmy Clare's lifestyle, I guess. Or no, actually, I would say I'm going to take that one back. The ups and downs of Jimmy Clare's challenging life.
The ups and downs. Okay. Yeah, the ups and downs. So explain to us about your podcast and why you started that.
Uh, so it's a monthly podcast that goes out once a month, sometimes twice, depending on my busy schedule and uh, and what I'm doing. If I'm getting ready to go on a quick vacation, I record something because it's kind of easier to record a podcast than writing a huge lengthy blog post. So I'm like, oh, let's do a quick podcast. I can go talk about anything. uh, and then I also I started it just 5 months ago, because actually no, it's less than 5 months ago, 4 months ago. It would be 5 months, April 12th. I mean, August 12th. Geez, I'm going backward. I mean, September 12th. Gosh darn it. I lost track. I blame the coronavirus.
Yeah, I think we all do. I think we all do, Jimmy.
Uh, but yeah, I started it because just another way to reach my audience. If I was going, since I want to become a motivational speaker, I thought it'd be a good idea to get my voice out there, and hopefully it doesn't become too annoying to anybody.
Oh, hopefully it doesn't become too annoying. Well, a good way to get your foot in the door about motivational speaking. And if you don't mind me asking, what are you getting your degree in?
Uh, I'm getting my degree in, my major is called Media Studies.
Ah,
Uh, so basically I could become a journalist, which I would never want to be. And I can also become a book publisher, a copywriter, or a sports announcer and a public speaker, which I really want to do.
so you're getting your degree in something that you're passionate in that could help you in public speaking.
Yeah, and worst case, if that doesn't work out, I have like 20 other plans.
Wow. You always have a plan. Well, I always have a plan too. So, Jimmy, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book would probably be. Oh, that's a hard decision. Another hard decision. I had to say either Harry Potter or Alex Rider.
I have not read Alex. I have not heard of Alex Rider slash read Alex Rider's work, but I have heard and read of Harry Potter. Jeez.
Uh, my cousin, she reread Harry Potter like I think 6 times or maybe 10 times.
Boy. I only read it once, and once was enough for me.
Same for me. I only watched the movie 100 times though.
Oh, well, yeah. The movie and the books are, if you're still big Harry Potter fans out there, go scoot and go read Harry Potter, go watch the movies. I don't care, but they're equally as good. And so, what is your morning routine?
My morning routine, I get up. Uh, I like to exercise in the morning. I also uh, I like to I like to I like to work on my podcast and my blog posts in the morning, like mid morning, and then depending if I'm in college, I like to take college classes in the morning, and then uh, I like to have a healthy shake for lunch, and then I just continue my day in the afternoon. I usually work out, do kickboxing at 3 times a week uh, on Zoom because of the whole
Oh,
coronavirus. So,
yeah. Well, I, yeah, I haven't given up the gym necessarily, you guys, but I have stopped going to the gym because of the whole COVID craziness. And yeah. And so, Jimmy, what would be your best piece of advice for those with disabilities listening to us?
my best advice is I would say keep asking for help. Uh, do not listen to the people out there who would tell you that you're not really worth anything, uh, or that you're not worth the time or effort. Uh, if you may, I would like to tell you a quick story about that. I know somebody who told me that when she moved to this one location for, I think it was Arizona for a few years, maybe it was a year or less than a year. Uh, she she told me that there was a, um, a school principal who basically said, and I don't know, I forget what the school district was in Arizona, but he said, why should I care about the people who have extra challenges? And it's like, it's just a waste of time and a waste of funding and everything. I told uh, the person who told me that, I said, you should have gave me that guy's cell phone number, because I would have just, after an hour talking with me, he'll change his mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. After the hour talking with me, he would have changed his mind too. And gee, geez, I still and you guys, we're still dealing with the Americans with Disabilities Act, but people with disabilities, all disabilities, get the funding and lollipop, including Jimmy, including myself, including anyone with a disability who is listening to this podcast. And Jimmy, as we wrap this interview up, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I was wondering, how come you started your own podcast?
I wrote a book and then I figured that I should market that book and not let it collect dust on the Amazon shelves. So I started this podcast 10 years ago, and ever since it's been kicking. And I'm also going back to school to pursue my journalism degree.
Oh, that's cool. Uh, and by the way, no offense, I didn't, when I said I would never want to be a
Ah,
journalist,
that's okay. A lot, a lot of people say, well, they haven't said that to me personally, but a lot of people say they don't want to be a journalist. They go, "When? What are you doing? What are you
well,
doing?" And I'm like, any degree other than education, and I'm sorry to my educators out there, but those who've been in education or on education as teachers, they get the bravery stick, they get the awards of awards this year, and because of COVID, and then any student that wants to be in education, be my guest. But I am no. If I had to go back to a W-2 job, it would be anything but education.
well, I could, uh, I don't think I can, uh, I can relate to that, uh, but what I just meant, like, I wouldn't want to be a journalist, was just because uh, I couldn't write something that was. uh, I feel like just journalists today, and I'm not saying everyone, so whoever is a journalist listening to this podcast, it just that I feel like that sometimes the journalist has to write what, like, what the I don't know what the outlet's political
What?
views are, and so I was like, I can't do that. And it's like,
No, you're too strong and independent. I can tell. No, but when it comes to journalism, and when it comes to how I'm going to do it, I'm going to take my podcast to a next level, and then I'm going to use it as a voice for the voiceless, for the disabled slash their caregivers. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm thinking about setting foot into political journalism, but it would be for the disabled and equal rights for the disabled. It wouldn't be political campaigns, because I agree with you that the political campaigns get a little too tough.
Yeah, exactly. I got another question for you.
Yeah,
Uh, so, would you be willing to be a guest on my podcast?
I would love it. I would love it. See this motivational speaking at books. I would love it. So yes, you guys, I would absolutely love it, because um the more I get my story out there, the better, and the more I speak on other people with disabilities behalf, those who can't physically speak, the better.
Uh, I got another question for you.
Yeah.
Uh, what is your book about?
My
Without giving away the ending, of course.
my original book, I have 11 books out there and working on my 12th and 13th book. And so my original book, which I'm well known for, is my journey with cerebral palsy, and how my parents raised me, and how to live life with cerebral palsy.
Gee, yeah. Do you think after this podcast you can send me the link to your book?
I
Because
will. I will. No, I would be honored to send you the link to my book. I will.
you know, it's funny. Just real quick, you know, I've been contemplating ideas of creating my own, of writing my own book, of my whole life story from beginning. Well, I wouldn't even say end because I'm still alive. But I've been contemplating that idea, and I still haven't put it into fruition. And I just been like sitting on these ideas in my head, and I've written stuff down, but I wouldn't say it's even organized to even be in a book yet. I just gave away too much of oh
Uh,
well.
well, maybe someday it will be organized to be in a book. And yes, I teach, and this goes for anyone listening, I teach people how to publish their own books. I can even help them publish their own books, because I know how to do it. And so, yes, you got to get your story out there, and it goes for everyone. And so, Jimmy, where can people find you, and where can people get a hold of you if they want to, number one, listen to the podcast, and number two, get a hold of you to help you with your motivational speaking?
Okay, this might be a long one. So people can find me at crazyfitnessguy.com. Uh, and that's all one word. Some people type it, you can literally type in Google crazy fitness guy all as one word, will show up. And also we're just separating in 3 words. But anyway, they can find me on Facebook at jbc.motivate. And you can also find me on Twitter, jbc_motivate. And they can also find me on Instagram, which is jbc.motivate. And they can also find me on Goodreads at Jimmy Clare. I forget the, they gave me this long ass link. I didn't
Oh,
remember.
there you go. we'll put all your information in the show notes.
Oh, and my podcast, people can listen to me on literally on every single major podcasting platform. I can never stand those people who only has their podcast on one platform.
I
It's like,
can't either. I can't either. It drives me
it's like
nuts.
I want to listen to your podcast.
I can't
You're not on
either.
your
It
platform.
drives me nuts. You pick the platform, people will be there. But no more handing Jimmy or I the Apple Podcast link and saying, "Here, listen to it here." No, no,
I'm
it's
on Android. I'm not
not.
supporting. I'm not
Android.
supporting Apple.
Yeah, you're on Android. I'm on Apple, but I don't use the Apple Podcast app. Dear Lord, I don't use it. Dear Lord, I don't use it. So quit handing people in general the Apple Podcast link, and then we'll be all good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Oh, I forgot one more thing. They could also. I also have a speaking page on my website. So if people want to hire me to speak at their next podcast or event, hit me up. It's under the speaking tab on my speaking link on my website. Can't miss it.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys, you need to, well, you don't need to, you should support people with disabilities, including those who are autistic. And so, Jimmy, I appreciate your time and I hope to work with you again in the future. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Thanks for having me.